I feel more at home in hotels and airports than in most houses. That probably sounds like a problem, something to fix, perhaps a symptom of something unresolved, but I don't think it is. I think it's something else, something that anyone who's spent years in transient spaces understands. Some people are adapted to liminality, the in-between, the threshold. We're not broken, I assure you. We're just built for a different type of existence. There's a word for this, liminal. It comes from the Latin word for threshold. It means the space between one thing and another. Not here, not there, in transit. Most people experience liminal spaces as uncomfortable. Airports, hotels, waiting rooms, those places that you pass through on the way to somewhere that matters. But some of us, we spent so much time in those spaces that they became home. Whether we're talking transient barracks, FOBs, transport aircraft, hotel rooms, the space in between deployments, the space in between identities, that changes you. And I'm not sure it changes back. Let me compare two kinds of liminal spaces. We have the civilian liminality. We have airports, hotels, highways, rest stops. You get my drift. Those spaces you pass through when you're going somewhere. For most people, those spaces are uncomfortable. They're essentially waiting rooms, and they don't have meaning in themselves, as one would think. They're just a cost of getting where you're going. Then we have military liminality, barracks, FOBs, transport aircraft, staging areas, those countries that you pass through to get to your final destination where you're deployed at. Transient barracks rooms, those giant bays where you're sharing everything, you have no privacy. And for soldiers, these are places where you have to live. Your whole deployment, when you think about it, is one long liminal space. You're never quite arrived because you're always about to leave, if that makes any sense. Whether your deployment was 6 months, a year, it doesn't even matter. 3 months, it doesn't matter. You're going there and you know that in the back of your mind, you're only there for a limited time. Always about to leave to the next mission or go home. Spend enough time in that second kind of liminality and something shifts. You get adapted to transience. The impermanent becomes permanent. The threshold becomes home. I'll tell you, I'd go on deployments and I'd be gone for 6 months at a time, and I would feel like I was never coming home. Looking back on it in hindsight, yeah, the time passed, I'm here now, and I'm talking to you right now. But at that time, I thought, this is my life now. This is what it looks like now. So that impermanence became permanent. But here's what the adaptation looks like. You walk into a house that someone's owned for 20 years, and it feels suffocating. All that permanence, all those objects that won't move, it's heavy. The weight of staying. But you walk into an airport terminal, anonymous transient, everyone's going somewhere. And strangely, your nervous system relaxes. It's so strange. Even now when I go on work trips and I have to travel, there is something comforting about that travel experience. Even though I know there's a ton of work, I barely have any time to myself because I'm always moving and I'm going, but you feel almost like that movement is your home. That transience is your home. The road becomes your home in a strange way. I'm doing my best to try to explain it right now. But it's strange. It's like those deployments where you go there and you have whatever idea you built up in your head of what you're expecting, and then your expectations don't ever get met because you expect one thing and then you end up getting another thing. And then you start feeling like you're never gonna leave that place. Like that place has become a part of you, almost. Or like you are a permanent person in that place. And you start changing a little bit. You start adapting to that place. You come home from a deployment, you go on your leave, you hang out with your family, and then you're ready to go out again. You're ready to go on a training mission. You're ready to go out on another deployment. You come to the civilian world and you're thinking about the next trip. You're thinking about where you're gonna go next. You're thinking about that. And it's strange. It's strange how that just becomes ingrained in you. And I don't know if it's from before my time in the military or after. I really don't know. Most people would call this a problem. They'd say it's rootlessness, inability to settle. Some might even say you have commitment issues. But I'm trying to change the perspective, maybe offer a different frame. What if it's not dysfunction? What if it's adaptation? If you spent years in environments where permanence is an illusion, where you could be moved, redeployed, or even killed at any moment, your psyche learned don't attach to a place. Attach to people maybe, attach to mission, your purpose, but place is temporary, always. And I'm gonna tell you, that's not a wound. That's a survival adaptation. And it doesn't just turn off because you're in a world that worships stability in all shapes and forms. But here's the part that surprises me. I'm happy in liminal spaces. I'm not just comfortable, I'm happy because there's a freedom in them. No obligations except for the next transition. No accumulation, no weight, just movement. And I've started to wonder if society's obsession with permanence is the weird thing, not my comfort with transience. Think about it though. Think about it. Really think about it. For most of human history, people moved. Nomads, traders, migrants. I wouldn't even be here today if my grandparents didn't move to the United States. The idea that you're supposed to stay in one house, one town, one life, that's new. That's the new thing. That's the anomaly. Maybe some of us are just built for an older way of being in the world. Or maybe I'm just rationalizing. I honestly don't know. But I stopped treating it as a problem to fix. So if this resonates with you, if you're someone who feels more at home in hotel rooms than houses, in airports than living rooms, I want to offer you something. You're not broken. You're adapted to a different kind of life. One that most people don't understand because they haven't lived it. Don't get me wrong now. That doesn't mean you can't build stability if you want it. It just means you might build it differently. Stability as a home base, not a cage. Movement as a need, not a problem. Or maybe you don't build stability at all. Maybe you build a life that embraces the transient. That's allowed too. The question isn't how do I become normal? The question is what kind of life actually fits who I've become? I'm still figuring that out, but I've stopped apologizing for it. I want to know, are you adapted to liminality? Do you feel more comfortable in threshold spaces than in permanent ones? Tell me in the comments, because I have a feeling if you stuck around this long and you're watching this channel, you're the kind of person who gets this. And I would love to hear your version of it. If this is your first time here, I'm Steve. This is Voices Beyond Boundaries. I make videos about the things that connect us across cultures, across borders, across neat categories most people live inside. I also talk about forgotten historical people, forgotten history, and I'm actually working on some mini documentaries right now. So you might want to stay tuned and subscribe for that. This channel is for people who want to learn, who want to bring their perspective and teach as well. No one is above anybody. We all have something to learn from one another. And if that's you, you found your place. Subscribe, hit the notification bell so YouTube actually shows you when I post. And if you know another veteran or anyone who spent years in transient spaces and wonders why home feels weird, send this to them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.